Good morning, Pilgrim. Are there times when you feel alone, feel like you're the last Christian in the world, the last sane person in the world, that everybody else has lost their mind but you, that there are no Christians left except you? I'm gonna begin this morning. 1 Kings 19, 9 through 18. The Lord speaks to Elijah, and he needed some speaking too. There he came to a cave and lodged in it. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and he said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" He said, I have been very jealous for the Lord, the God of hosts. For the people of Israel have forsaken your covenant, thrown down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. And I, even I only am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And he said, "Go out, stand on the mount before the Lord." And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and a strong wind tore the mountains, broke in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, the sound of a low whisper. And when Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his cloak. He went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. And behold, there came a voice to him and said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" He said, "I have been very jealous for the Lord, the God of hosts. For the people of Israel have forsaken their covenant, thrown down their altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away." And the Lord said to him, "Go, return on your way to the wilderness of Damascus. When you arrive, you shall anoint Hazael to be king over Syria, and Jehu, the son of Nimshi, you shall anoint to be king over Israel, and Elisha, the son of Shaphat of Abel-Maholah, you shall anoint to be prophet in your place. And the one who escapes from the sword of Hazael shall Jehu put to death, and the one who escapes from the sword of Jehu shall Elisha put to death. Yet I will leave 7,000 in Israel, all the knees that have not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him." No, Elijah was not alone. He wasn't the last. 13 April 1856, Spurgeon gave this sermon: "A willing people and an immutable leader. The people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. Thou hast the dew of thy youth." The willing people. Psalm 110:3. Christ shall always have a people. In the darkest ages, Christ has always had a church, and if darker times shall come, he will have his church still. No, Elijah in those caves of the earth. No Elijah in those caves of the earth. God has his prophets. God has his prophets hidden by 70s. Thou, too poor, unbelieving Christian, or pilgrim, at times thou sayest, even I am left. I do this at times. Oh, if thou only had eyes to see, if thou could travel a little, thy heart would be glad to find that God does not lack a people. It cheers my heart to find that God has a family everywhere. We do not go anywhere, but we find really earnest hearts, men full of prayer. I bless God that I can concerning the church wherever I've been, though they are not many, there are a few who sigh and groan over the sorrows of Israel, the church. There are chosen bands in every church, thoroughly earnest men who are looking out for and are ready to receive their master, who cry to God that he would send them times of refreshing from the presence of the Lord. So don't be too sad, pilgrim. God has his people. They are willing now, and when the day of God's power shall come, there is no fear about the people. Religion may be at a low ebb, but it never was at such a low ebb that God's ship was stranded. It may be ever so low, but the devil shall never be able to cross the river of Christ's church dry shod. He shall always find abundance of water running in the channel. So God grant us grace to look out for his people, believing that there are some everywhere. For the promise is, thy people shall be willing in the day of power. So, pilgrim, do you, like me, sometimes feel like you're just one of the few, if not the only one? God's people may be nearer and more numerous than you can imagine. Acts 18:9 and 10. And the Lord said to Paul, one night in a vision, he spoke to him, do not be afraid, but go on speaking, and don't be silent. And even when we are very few, Christ is nearer than we sometimes imagine, nearer than we think. Matthew 18:20. I love this one. For when 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I among them. We're not alone, pilgrim. We're not alone. Jesus is with us. And there are many like us out there. Many. God bless, pilgrim. Have a great day.